is when you get guys like Meat Eater, Laramie Sasquatch Miller, Bear Hanlon, Aaron Snyder, Clay Newcomb, the Howl guys, Howl for Wildlife. When you have that sort of a following and that interconnectivity, and then you throw guys in like the local guys, the Bobby Marshalls, you get this connectivity that's driven at such a level because now everybody's talking about something that's going on in Colorado. Maybe I'm missing out. Maybe I need to pay attention. Well, Clay's talking about it. These guys mentioned that. Joe Rogan talked about it. Cameron Hanes is talking about it. These guys here. Pretty soon you look at it and go, now you become mainstream on fundraising. And while fundraising is still there, it's not like it was, nor do I expect it to be. Mm-hmm. Now, with the ballot initiative that was dropped today for 2026, it's a money-making opportunity for the antis because whether they win, lose, or draw, they're going to make money. But we need to make money again to turn around and start lining up a defense mechanism for this next ballot initiative.
Can you tell us what it is on mic, or is it?
Yeah. So the new one that just dropped today at 11:27 on March 19th, 2025, is called the Colorado Wildlife and Biodiversity Protection Act. It is in totality 6 pages.
Whoa, wait a minute. Read that one more time.
Colorado Wildlife and Biodiversity Protection Act.
What the fuck is biodiversity?
Well, it's interesting because I'll bet $1 to a dog turd that the gal who helped run the campaign for Cats Aren't Trophies, Samantha Brugger Miller, who then left Cats Aren't Trophies and went to work for the Center for Biological Diversity, has something to do with this in some capacity because they've tried to go through the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Commission and the General Assembly in the last 90 days, and they've lost at every level. But because she's got this money backing, I'm assuming, I'm not sure, but all the language is the same. Now, to the average person would look at this and go, well, that's got to be good, until you read into the 6 pages, because we can make a lot of assumptions up on what's good and what's bad. But they want to create, in conjunction with a variety of other things in this, they want to create the Wildlife and Ecosystem Conservation Commission. This is up for the ballot that people will be able to vote on. This commission would collaborate with Colorado Parks and Wildlife, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and other conservation organizations. The commission shall be composed of 3 independent ecologists appointed by Colorado universities, 2 conservation biologists appointed by nonpartisan environmental organizations, 1 wildlife advocate appointed by a citizens panel, which shall be selected through a randomized lottery system from a pool of Colorado residents who apply. The panel shall be composed of 10 members and must include individuals with backgrounds in conservation, outdoor recreation, or environmental advocacy. It has to have 1 indigenous representative appointed by tribal governments, 1 environmental policy specialist appointed by a legal or policy institute specializing in conservation law, and 1 wildlife management expert appointed by a national or state-level wildlife agency. No members may have financial ties to extractive industries such as logging, mining, ranching, hunting, or other development. The WECC does not replace the CPW or U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, but supplements their work to ensure scientific integrity unless such agencies cease to function due to state or federal actions. If you look farther down into this damn thing, and it's like I say, it's 6 pages.
Yeah.
But it talks about funding and resource revenues. They want 20% of the money of this to go to a public outreach and education on conservation campaign. That's exactly what the Colorado Wildlife Council does to show the benefits of hunting and fishing through hunter-angler dollars. That is $1.50 off of each license. That's the one that I chaired during the campaign. I was the chair for 3 years. I was on it for 8. I just termed out the end of January. These type of languages that they're imposing on this are the red herring. The average person that doesn't know how process of government works, or the public trust doctrine under the North American model of wildlife conservation that allows for government agencies to be the stewards and the managers of our wildlife resources through the American funding model that is created through the license sales, not to mention the Pittman, Robertson, and Dingell Johnson, which comes from the excise tax of firearms and ammunition and fishing equipment and so forth.
So what is it? Would they have jurisdiction or say, or would everything go to a vote on this fucking panel, or what?
Well, you tell me, because right now, if we want to get into the firearms conversation, if you look at the state permit that was created last year for the federal firearms license holders in the state of Colorado that now have to have a state permit, they passed that law. They don't have that division. They don't have any of the laws, rules, and regulations set. They don't have any of the fees imposed. They don't have any of the oversight, the enforcement set. They want to pass a law and then turn around and say, oh, and this is how we're going to make it. You can't tell me that this is an undermining method to create exactly what they want and what they lost on 127, what they lost at the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Commission, what they lost in 2019 with the citizens petition at the commission, 2020, 2021, what they lost at the General Assembly in 22 on Senate Bill 31, what they lost on Proposition 127 in 24, what they just recently lost in February, I think it was in March now, on House Bill 1258, which was the anti-hunting bill that lost 10-3 out of the House Ag Committee about 10, 12 days ago. This is an undermining effort, and it will come out. You'll be able to tell who's behind this when it comes out. Now, this is the process they have to go through. They still have to go through the title board. They still got to go through the Secretary of State, but now it's something else that the sportsman community has to belly up, cough money up to turn around and fight. If they get what they want, then they turn around and start gathering signatures. Then they start a campaign a year and a half in advance. They want to turn around and bring this out of the woodwork, and they want to misinform and miseducate the general public like this is going to do something other than undermine all efforts of science-based wildlife management in the North American model, period.